Hello and welcome to the Friday Tech Training today. This is the last one for the week. And today we're going to talk about the agent sites, the KW app, and the Command mobile app. And we'll just touch a little bit on the Kelly app, which is, if it's not all the way out, it'll be on its way out real soon. Here in my shared screen, I've got going how to reach out to me. So if you ever need to get in touch with me for any reason, you can always go to kwcentral.com, go over to Agent Resources, Tech Support and Training, and that'll bring you to this page right here. And you'll be able to find all the resources having to do with the stuff that we learned about this week, maybe even a little bit more, and you'll be able to schedule an appointment or reach out to me. Let's go and jump in. Let's log into Command. Okay, so here you're on the home page. Been here all week long, so we all know that this might look different from yours. We're going to jump straight into the consumer tab today so that we can talk about the website and how to work with it. So once this loads up, what you're going to see is sort of what looks like the different pages on your website. And I suppose I should open up my site so I can show you these examples. If you're wondering what the address is for your website, or if you don't think you have one, you probably do. It came with your command. It's just out there, but no traffic's really going to go to it unless you direct it there. So we're going to talk a little bit about, the strategy of why you have a website and getting people to go on and use it. So if you want to figure out what your website address is, you would go down to consumer. You'd end up right here. You go to site and app settings, go to URLs, and you would find the address for your website and the address for your consumer app. We're going to talk about the consumer app later, but it's really important that you use the address that you find here in your command. Nobody else's, not on the App Store, has to be right here because it's personalized to you. And we're going to talk about the connectivity that has with your account a little bit later today. I don't want to click mine. I have a bug on mine that I have to get sorted that I never do, but if I clicked it, my command would crash. So that's why I'm going to skip clicking this little link here. So this is the agent site. Now, if you haven't done anything to your site, you would probably say something like find your dream home, and this background picture would be some really brightly colored pictures of houses and suburban communities and cool B-roll, stuff like that. And then all this other stuff I highlighted earlier in the week comes from our marketing profile. That's always here, and this contact form is always at the bottom of all of our pages. This middle part, which I suppose maybe you call a widget, it's the search function in this top page, will stay exactly like this as far as structure goes for everybody on their website. You can't take it off, you can't modify it, you can't add things to it, but you can customize it a little bit. So you can change this picture back here, you can change what it says here, and then, like I said, everything outside of this comes from your marketing profile. That would change according to you. So in order to change that stuff, you would go to general. Let's start from the top. You would be here on the consumer tab. You go to site and app settings and general. These are the different tabs are in the general tab. You could change the pictures here, and that's what's in the background. We'll learn about that in a minute here, and it just rotates through them. I put in 2 of our logos that were perfectly lined up with each other, so when it rotates, it just looks like they're changing color. It seemed like fun at the time, and I'm just going to stick to it. You can add up to, I think, 5 images. There they are, and then they have to be these pixels for it to look nice and crisp. So we learned all about pixels and the designs part. So you're going to want to open up canvas, 1200 by 1200, and you would then bring in the logos, which we learned about where we find those earlier in the week. Make sure they expand to the full canvas, save a copy, and then you can bring it in, and it's going to fit exactly the way that you want it to. You do that with any picture that you want. Here, my tech website, that's what it says right there. So you can change that. Pretty straightforward stuff. You can also change the theme of your website. This is just the basic theme. I like the dark theme, so I clicked that one. And it just changes some really subtle aspects of your website, whether something's red or black, and where the different things go. You just update it after you make your choice. And I don't think anything will change, because I think mine was always set that way. So that's the top page. This is the one that everybody has. This box will always be here. These pictures will always be here. You get the idea. But good news is this is a really good search function. We've talked about that before. So let's search Burlington. Here we are. And there's the search function. So this is up to date. You know, it looks at all the different listings that you can think of, and it doesn't have to be any of the MLSs that you're a part of. It's just all of them. So you can search in California if you want. So another cool little thing about this that I want to highlight, which is going to be useful when we start talking about the pages, is this address right up here is an address that's created when you do this search. So I can go Control Copy, Control C to copy right up there. If I dropped it in up here, Control V, and went there, it's not going to just take me to a generic search page. It's going to take me to the Burlington NC search result right here. So that's powerful information, because maybe you want to save this one link. And when people click it, they search in Burlington, or maybe you want people to search in Greensboro, right? So one helpful note would be to actually do it in the search function. So let's go there. Copy that, paste that. There it is. So I have these two web addresses that are going to two different places. I just paste them in. Why is that powerful? Let's talk about why that's powerful. Let me go to quick Google Doc just so that we can illustrate the concept. All right, so this is just a blank page right here in Google Docs. So again, just to drive home the power of this, we've got this search generated kind of like a printing press, and make a search, save the address, copy that address, paste it in here. Well, that's super ugly. We learned how to make that not ugly earlier, right? So this is the one that goes to Burlington. Okay, that's the Burlington one. So I'm going to type something like search NC homes. Control K to add a link. Control V to put in the link that we have copied on our clipboard and apply it. I can lose all of this ugly nonsense. Bye-bye. I've just got this cool little flashy button that I can click. That's going to take me to redirecting. Curse of teaching. Things always move slower and get bugged when you're trying to teach it. There it goes. Burlington NC. And there it is. I've got this button that's just going to take me there. And I can go even one step further still, because you can take something like, copy that image, put that image right here. That's neat. I'm going to copy this address, Control C, go over here. I'm going to add a link. Control V, apply. Now this picture is a link. It's taking me to search Burlington NC homes. So I can make this a picture of whatever I want. It can just say in a cool way that you produce in a design program and WeBrand or something that just says in a cool tile, search Burlington NC homes. Or you can put your logo there, your picture there, whatever it is that you want. And you can link that out how you like. And then we can take that and put it on the agent site. So let's talk about that step. I wanted to highlight what we can do with this search function. You can use it to generate these addresses for people to land on. Let's close up all that mess. We'll go home. Here we are here. Let's go to agent site pages. So keep that in your back pocket for a second while we discuss making a new page, what we can put on a page, and how we activate pages. All right. So here, I always use sort of the example that I don't know if anybody else uses this, but it's the way that made sense in my head. If you've ever seen an old school like slide projector putting on a slideshow where you have that little carousel and the little, slides that drop in, they all drop into place, and you go to the next one and makes the then click noise, you get the screen, so to speak. These aren't the pages that are on your website as a list. These are just slides that you have. You've created these designs of web pages, of different pages of a website, I should say. And you can choose to project them as many as you like, or you can choose to project none of them. So you can see over here, the ones with the aqua eye are being used. I've got them on my site somewhere. You can check them. These ones are not active. So these are the slides. I can use them, I can not use them. I can create a bunch of test ones. I can go back to my old ones. And if I have one that I don't use all the time, check something that I was using, bring back, whatever. It's just sort of the workspace for the different pages. To actually use them, go to Site Nav Settings. We're going to go to Agent Site Pages. And then we're going to go here. Now this box, so to speak, is the projector. We're going to put the slides into this so that it actually goes onto your website. I'm going to add page, and you'll see the list of all of the different options, all of the different pages that you made for your agent site. And you just click whichever one you want, contact me, continue, and that'll add it to your website. Now I want you to notice something important here. I clicked the contact me when it created this new page. And the page title is new page. It's not going to say contact me as a default. Contact me is the name of the design that I used when I created it over here in the agent site pages, so that I knew what the different designs were. I left myself that note. But it's not going to be the name of the page on your search bar. You put that here, and it'll also show here. So let's say I call this one bunnies, because it's funny and we'll be able to see it easily. We're going to save that. New page, bunnies, save. Okay. So let's see what we have here. It looks like I never removed the page from my last training with the Friday example. Let's reload. That's what's going to update it. Didn't see it there before. Now we're going to see it. Friday example and bunnies. There it is. I click that. It's going to show me the contact, whatever one I have saved up there, which looks like it might be an incomplete one for the sake of the example. So let's go home. You can see all the different things on my nav page here. I don't want this one, so I'm going to remove it. And then I should probably also get rid of this other old one that's on there. Delete, click to confirm. Refresh here. Save it. We're going to go back to our website. You're going to notice that right here, it's still there because I haven't refreshed yet. So you got to remember to save in one place, refresh in another one, make sure everything is synced up that way. That's the process. You make a change, you save it, you go to your website, refresh the page, and see if it's the way that you like it. So we'll give that a quick refresh. This little thing stops spinning up here. We'll be able to see what happened. Looks like it's being stubborn. Let's give it another refresh. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to see that all of that's gone. So that's the process of once you have a page, putting it onto your website or activating one and deactivating one. So now we're probably wondering, okay, I know how to move around the different parts of my website. How can I create a page that I like, that I want to put on my website? Let's take care of that. So up here and then create a new page is going to give you two options when you click it. One is the on my agent site. The other one is as a landing page. Those are the two different kinds of pages you can create. On my agent site is exactly what the process we went through. We're going to create a page that you can see in your design space here. You can, so to speak, creating a slide that you can put into the projector for your website. Down here is as a landing page. This is a standalone website, so to speak. You can create the space. It's got its own web address. It's long and it's a long, ugly web address. You can modify it a little bit, but it's not really meant to be part of, or you're not supposed to build a website using just landing pages. You're creating just sort of like a one-off for someone to go and visit. So we'll come back around to that one so you can understand what they're for. And just note that the widgets available on this one are slightly different than the widgets that are available on this one. The widgets are the different pieces that we can put into the template of our website and customize. So we're going to give our website a name. We'll call this one, I already had Friday example, we'll call it the bunnies example. Doesn't feel silly today, I guess. So now we've got this blank slate, and you can, if you wanted to, bring over some text, and you can remove that and type away, and it would just be text. So we'll go to this party was, and we'll just see some words. So if you really wanted to, you could just create from this like blinking cursor concept website stuff. You don't have to, really be knowledgeable with web design to be able to do that kind of thing. But it is an option, and it's something to note. So if you get some HTML, you can pop it in here and utilize that. And that's sort of like you can keep that in your back pocket, because in a pinch, I've been able to make something happen on a website because this is a space where I can use that program language. Not everything on here is like that. So if we're not comfortable with that, we're going to get rid of that little text box. You can also bring over an image, whatever it might be. I'll go to logo. Let's see, there it is. And this one's got white, so you can't really see it. You can take it and you can't really do anything with it here. It's not going to really move down. You can kind of move it a little bit. It's going to kind of justify to that top corner. So if you wanted to move it around, again, you would have to be a little bit familiar with web design to be able to center it or put it where you want. You have to work with that sort of blinking cursor creation from nothing sort of concept. So again, those are the things that you can do with your content blocks. So you can kind of pop things in that way. Now, the widgets are what rescue us from all of that scary stuff. So the one I like the best is the agent profile. I feel like it's the most usable or the most flexible. You can use it for many different things just because it's, you'll see what I mean, I suppose, in a second. But you got some other options. If you're working on a team, you can bring over the team widget, and it brings over this template that has all the things on it. You can just, go to configure widgets, meet the team, write whatever it is you need to write in there, put in the options, and save it and apply it. And all of this stuff would look really beautiful. I don't have a team to pop in here, so I can't use this example so well. But close that out. You can put in a contact form. Now this one's powerful. I think it's also powerful for landing pages, which we'll talk about later, because you'll be able to create just a simple address. It is a contact form that you can, just like we did where I created the click here to see Burlington NC Homes. It gives you this big address, but you can just put it in, link it to a picture or something so that it looks nice and professional, and it takes you to this contact form. And that can be a powerful piece of some other moving part. So again, you've got this contact information. Somebody clicks the link and fills this out. All of their information that they put in here will populate to your command because it's connected to your website. So let's get rid of that. Testimonials Carousel is exactly what it sounds like. You got all this stuff. You get things on it by using the Testimonials capture form, which is another widget you can add to your website. People can fill this out and populate, to your website and go through on your carousel or whenever you've got that on your website. So that's how you utilize that function. And I think you can select the different testimonials too that you like. There, you have a little control over what's displaying on that carousel. Company profile. Oop, does not look like it wants to come out and play today, but that is just how it goes sometimes. So I will say this, the design program, it can get a little bit grouchy. So if it starts doing something like this, that's not really making any sense, you can always back out and come back. Let's see if we can try this again. There it is. So here it is. They have this nice picture on the top, profile. You can configure this widget however you like. And this is pretty attractive. And this is another option for a template that you can use. You just need to generally express whatever. So you can change the heading, intro text. Some of these have limits, some of them don't. What I don't know is on this particular widget is, can I embed things? Let's find out together. So required. Let's get rid of this, and we'll show you an example of how you embed. We're going to watch this video a little bit later But for now, I'm gonna click share, embed, copy all of this, which is all this code. And what I can do now is drop it in somewhere. Let's save the changes and see if it's something that I expect. It is. You can embed code there. So that's what embedding does. It pops it into your website, looks all pretty and nice. You can change the picture up here. I might play with this. This widget's pretty nice. I might use this one now, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, this is something that will play on your website.
Hello, KW agents. I hope you're doing well. This is Sydney Stephen. So what we'll talk about today.
So we'll watch that video a little later. But that's the kind of stuff that you can do in these boxes. If they don't have a character count, see it's someone using 17 of 30 characters, usually means that you can put in some kind of code. So there's another one, and this is really good for just like a layout that you want to use. And just fill in the blanks and save it and apply. So let's take a look at the other one that I really like. Get rid of this guy. Go like that. I'm gonna go back, close that. I use the agent profile a lot because it's just a friendly, all-purpose kind of widget. Yeah, it says being a little grouchy looking right now. So let's give that a refresh and see what happens. There we go. That's a little bit more like what I expect to see. So we bring that in. And this is sort of just an all-purpose template. That's how I treat it anyway. It's going to load up with whatever you got in your marketing profile as a snapshot. So when you load up this web page, if you make a change in your marketing profile, this won't update unless you come in here and bring a fresh copy of the widget in, and then it's going to take a snapshot of whatever's in the marketing profile. And that's how you could go about updating it if you wanted to do that. But I want to highlight that we can configure widgets, agent profile, fill in all the different parts, and then this agent bio spot here is space where you can add, again, from my clipboard, Control V to paste, save these changes. Oh, that's not that I want to say. So, oh, he ran away. Let's see if my bunnies are still here. Looks like I might have lost them. Well, that's how we learn together. Make sure we're using that save button because now it's all gone. So I probably should have just saved it rather than trying to go back, but let's create a new page and we'll learn from my mistake so that you don't have to make it. We'll go to configure widgets, agent profile. We'll go down here, which bio, drop that in from my clipboard. Oh, which isn't there anymore. Copy it here, paste it in here, and we'll save and apply. Down here was the button I was looking for originally. And here's that. So again, that's another thing you can embed. So you can embed various things from all over the internet. You can do it with maps. You can do it with different calculators, different. So look for that embed sort of. Let me show you. Look for a share button anywhere like that, and then this little, two little, greater than, less than sign here is the sort of. This means embed. So you can grab that and use that for it. You can also copy down here, which is just a link, Control C, copy, which you can then go Control V to paste. Oh, too many, Control Z. And that'll bring you to
Google Career Certificates,
the website. So you can use that to make a link for a button in the same way as we did before. So just to show you some options that we have there. Once you have your page set up exactly how you like it, you've got all the blanks and all the fields filled in just how you like, you've embedded things, you're proud of it, you think it's fancy. You should have saved changes a few times through that whole process so you don't lose your work. But let's go here and name this one the bunnies example again and save the changes. Yep. And now when I say that, it's going to take me straight over to the projector. This is over in the agent site pages tab. So I might feel a little disoriented, but that's where we ended up. Grab the add page button. I'm going to pick whichever one that we want. I'm going to pick this bunnies example that I just created. Continue. And now it just says new page, but I don't want it to say that. I don't want it to say bunnies example because that's what I wanted to say in my nav bar. Or maybe I want it to say nav bar for some reason. And maybe I want it to be something other than bunnies, like kittens. It doesn't have to be bunnies. slug kittens. And that's going to change this back end here. So you can see that adding in. And the description. This isn't really about kittens. And we'll save it. So we'll go over here and refresh. There it is, kittens. And there's the page that we just made together, popped in just like that. So it's pretty streamlined. I'm going to get rid of that and save everything. And I'm going to go home, which might be enough to refresh it sometimes. No, not in this case. And now it's back. Now that's sort of the caching cookies thing people tell you about. If you need to clear your cache and cookies and people feel like it's just kind of a waste of time. And you'll notice that that button didn't go away until I hit refresh because it took a fresh, take of that page. But essentially that's what that does is when you clear it, it gets rid of all of that preloaded data instead of trying, because if I had clicked kittens there, it would have been like, that's not here, and it would have been problems. So in a nutshell, that could help that kind of thing. That's why we make you do it all the time. All right. So we learned about how to make a page, how to put a page up. We modified a page, learned about embedding. What else do I want to tell you about? Let's find out together. Landing pages. Okay. So we're going to start from, where you would see if you clicked the consumer tab right here, load up something that looks like this. We're going to pick the landing pages option here. What's all of this about? I've got some turned on and some turned off, and you can see I can click the ones that are on. They all have this long, kind of not so attractive URL, but we all know how to make that look professional because we talk about linking. But let's find out what's the point of a landing page. Create page as a landing page, create it. You're going to come to a designer that looks identical almost to your Aiden site pages. And it looks like they made the widgets just about the same. I'm used to them being slightly different. So we're going to say the kittens example here. And we're going to bring in this example, let's say the download my app. Oh, didn't like that. Let's try it again. Come on. Nope. So again, if it gets grouchy, sometimes you just got to give it a refresh. It's going to wake up because it's going to bring back to whatever the last version it saved as, so kittens. And let's try to bring it down to my app this time. There it is. So now you can create this whole thing, and we will save those changes. Yes, we're going to publish the page, but you're going to notice it's not going to take me to, oh, wait a minute, kittens example, bunnies example. What's going on? Maybe I clicked the wrong one. Landing pages, create a new page as a landing page, please. Create page. That would explain why I had the same widgets. So make sure you firmly click the landing page option. But we're going to see exactly what we were talking about here. So let's say lead form. So let's put in a header. We're going to put in a lead form. Oh, all right, with that same problem again. So let's refresh. I'm going to have to do it again because it doesn't have a saved version of itself. The curse of teaching. Everything glitches out when you're trying to show people stuff. There we go. Kittens example. I was trying to help now. That's nice. So let's bring over a header. And then let's bring over a lead form. And then let's bring over a legal footer. And cool. That's a pretty okay looking page, just like that. Look at that. Configure widgets. See if there's anything that we need to do. Do I want to change my picture? Do I want to change any of this information? Or do I want my team logo to be different? The lead form, pick that one. Interested, let's talk. Or you could say something that sounds more like you if that's not something you would say. Legal footer, exactly what it sounds like. Make sure you've got all the proper information. When you like it, we'll save it. And now it's in the landing pages. It's the kittens example, but I haven't published it yet. It's just a draft. So if I can go over here and I can click edit, and publish it. That pretty much means, yeah, it's going live. I should really get some elevator music for these training examples. Just keep it, just click that. Always dragging today. Well, the next thing we're going to talk about, we might as well talk about something, is the once we learn about landing pages and what we can do with them, we're going to talk about the apps. We're going to talk about the consumer app, and we're going to talk about the command mobile app. We got a little video about the command mobile app that we're going to see, and we're going to see the connectivity between the consumer app and command. And again, we've talked about this a couple of times where you get your URL, how you can use that so that people have your version of it, which is an important detail. You don't want them to get it from the App Store or anywhere else. You want them to get it from you. So we'll come back around to that. We're gonna have to really look at this. So Kitten's example, I can turn it off. Yep, it's inactive. Now nobody can go there. It's not a thing. I can turn it on. Yep, and now it's a thing. I can click this and preview it. And cool, I'm not a robot. And someone can come here and fill out some information, even write you a note, put in their number, and send it to you. And that'll go straight to your commands contacts list. So why someone would want to fill out this form, well, that's completely up to you and your strategy, how you're talking to people. If you can keep this right here, Control C, copy it. Let me go ahead and create yet another doc to show you what I mean. There's another blank Google Doc. So maybe you're sending someone the best email. You got content, convincing language, and that's something that you're doing. So control, and then we're gonna just this is all your convincing language right here, and then you're gonna say like thanks, and then you can say maybe it's an email and they could just respond back, or maybe it's a text message that you sent or whatever else. And you can say click here or to get in touch. And we'll highlight that, Control K to set a link, Control V to pop in that. Oh, not that one, because that was on my clipboard. Grab this, Control C to copy it. Over here, we'll highlight that, Control K to bring up the link box, Control V to paste in what I had on my clipboard and apply it. And now I've got the best email with all this content and convincing language. And thanks for coming. And I can click this, someone can get in touch. And boom, there's your contact form right there. They can fill it out and go straight to your command. That's the point of a landing page, is you can kind of create a destination for a purpose, the purpose of using whatever the widgets available to you are. So let's close that down. This is our kittens example. And let's see here. That was the purpose of that. We want to talk about first the consumer app, then the command mobile app. And then there's this Kelly app out there that's still hovering around. That's last I heard moderately useful still, but I don't. I would recommend that it's not really worth your time right now, unless you're very, very focused on notifications. And it may be that they've updated past this wisdom. I probably should ask soon. But if you are always looking at your notifications up here, that's something that motivates you, then you should absolutely have the Kelly app on your phone, because it's the one thing that the Kelly app does right. Every time you get any kind of a notification up there, your Kelly app will ding and tell you that you have a notification. Now, what Kelly tells you is the notification, or how many there are, or if there's 1 or 2,000, or all of the ones that you've ever had, and it was reporting those. Don't trust any of that. It buzzed and says notification. You can be 100% confident that you have a notification in command. And that's all. That's the only thing that should be trusted. Sometimes it gets it right, sometimes it doesn't. I've seen it do some crazy things. And the reason that Kelly is the way it is they created it to be an assistant, and then they pumped the brakes immediately and decided this isn't a good enough plan. We need to create something that's more useful, and that's where the Command Mobile app came from, which we're going to learn about just a little bit. And they just stopped working on Kelly and started working on that. But Kelly still had some functionality, so they recommended that you still have it. So that's why it's there. So again, if you're using a lot of notifications as far as what motivates your workflow and your workday and all of that, download it, use it. That's not something you use, I'd say don't even waste the space on your phone, ditch it. Because we've got something better. Now the Command Mobile, the consumer app, if we were to start consumer tab, go to site and app settings, we click this URLs like we talked about, you would find the a little copy button for your consumer app. And what you would want to do is copy that, open up your email, paste it in. We all know how to copy and paste at this point, and send it to yourself. Open it up on your phone, hook the link, and download your version of your app. And it's going to have your own pretty picture on it, your contact information. But really the most important and the most powerful reason you want to do that is that the consumer app is hardwired to your command account. Now you're always looking at it when you're looking at your own consumer app on your own phone, you're always looking at it as though you are a potential client, even though you are yourself. It is always consumer facing. So you're never going to see sort of the admin settings or any of that kind of stuff. You're going to, it thinks that you're a client. It doesn't know any better. The admin settings are happen here on this screen in command, what little bits that there are. You can change the hero text here. And that's about it. Some virtual tours and stuff. So once you have yours downloaded, you would be able to, let me go ahead and open up mine. You would be able to open it on up. And I should probably learn how to share screen at some point. It's something that all the fancy other tech trainers do. But you've got these two here. You got the white one and the red one. And the white one is the consumer app and the red one is the Command Mobile app. You need both. I strongly recommend that you get both. And if you click the white one, it'll open up your consumer app. Now let's get somewhere. Let's go to my current location. And I've got, just like that, that pops up. And you can do some searching. Move around, pick this, load. You can save it if that's something that you like. And here's the thing about it. I can't do any of the searching stuff until I have the app, which I could get from the App Store, but you're not going to let anybody do that. You want them to have your app. And the only way they can access it is they have to create a real quick account. They can put in their name, their email address, and they create an account. That goes straight to your command. They become a contact just from doing that. And then they can do some search functions all in here. And anywhere that anything they like, they can put into a saved list, put into favorites and save it. And they can leave a note there. And they're sending you a note in command. Whether they know it or not, you should probably tell them that. But that you can see what they've been searching every time they save a search or something like that. And they can search for all the different things and you can see where they've been interested in. And once they save that, let's go see where it loads up. Go back to our contacts. Now I am a contact in my own list, just like everyone else should have, just so that I can illustrate things like this. So let's see, notes. Ooh, unless I got rid of the version of me that signed up for this app. So let's do that real quick. Well, I'll have to do that for the next one because I don't want to waste everybody's time on this video. So you would normally see on the timeline right here what they've been searching around for. So show you the house and the area, and then you can go over to save searches. You can create a search for them to see. So property criteria and all of that. Search by neighborhood. You can find it on a map. Search by zip code. Whatever it's going to be. And then you can send them stuff that you think is cool that way. So again, you've got that back and forth compatibility there. Also on your phone, if you're in your app, you should have your own copy of. Well, that loads up. You can share it on the fly this way. You can go to more in the bottom. And then you can go to share the KW app. And then you can just share it to people, and text it right to them or email it to them so that they have your link real easy. And that's how you can get it to them that way. Or you can use the download my app button on the different widgets. Got some options. And then again, you'd notice that it's going to have your information on there. So whoever's app they download, they'll see their picture and their name and their contact information and all that. I will say that some people don't really trust the consumer app. I think that they need to give it another shot. I know that when I started on, a few months back, when I tried to use the consumer app, it was a little bit herky-jerky, a little bumpy, wasn't very smooth, and it crashed a few times. So they were right back then. They have since put in a lot of effort to smooth it out, make it more user-friendly, and honestly, it's a pretty smooth app now. I recommend any new agents that come in to check it out and use it. And anyone who has, a counter opinion, I always challenge and say like, okay, it's been some time. They put a lot of work into it. I know that maybe you feel like it wasn't good when you tried it 5-6 months ago. Now, in a very short period of time, as far as programming goes, it's a lot better. So I would say, be the judge yourself. Try again. If you've tried it before and been burned and you feel like, crashed a few times and got frustrated, download it again and use it yourself and see if it's something that you can be proud of. And I would challenge everyone who sees this recording to try that again for sure, because it's got powerful connectivity. It's a good way to communicate with clients. Everyone's on their phone these days more than they are on a computer. So it's definitely something worthy. All right, so let's go, and I'm just going to go home here, and we're going to go to the video of our RTT, Seymour, describing the command app quick overview. I'm going to let her speak, and there's a few things that have been updated since this video was recorded. I'll probably just jump in and let you know what those are.
Hello, KW agents. I hope you're doing well. This is Sydney Seymour, Regional Technology Trainer for the Carolinas region, Labs Advisor, KWU approved instructor, and I am here today to talk about the Command app. So as of today, it is live in the App Store for iPhone users. We're waiting for Android, should be released soon, but wanted to just jump on and create a really quick video that kind of walks you through some of the top features and how you can go ahead and get started. So once you've downloaded the app, you're going to log in with your username and password. That's going to be the same username and password that you use for your Keller Williams command login. If you have questions or need help with that, reach out to your Market Center tech trainer and they can definitely help you figure out that you have the correct username and password. So we have logged into this and we are looking at the dashboard, and I love the layout of this. We've got contact tasks right up here. Anything that's due today, anything that's due soon, or anything that is past due is going to show right up here. Underneath, we've got leads that have never been contacted. That's essentially a smart view that we're looking at. And then recently active. So anybody that's recently been active, maybe on your consumer app or on your websites, we definitely want to make sure we're paying attention to that. Now, down here in birthdays, it's going to show us for the next 30 days, anybody in our database that we have an upcoming birthday for, or a home anniversary. So we want to make sure, number one, that we've entered those details into the contact record so that we're going to see that here. And that number two, we're looking at this to make sure that we're reaching out to them and just saying happy birthday or celebrating them on another year of having their home. Underneath that, we're going to see profit share updated for the month. So that's really nice. At a glance, we can take a look at that. Now at the bottom, you'll see all the different applets that you can take a look at. Now remember, this is the first version. So what we'll talk about today a little bit is contacts, some of my favorite things that we've got in here. So we're going to go into contacts and we're going to look at all of our contacts over on the left. Once we go into there, I'm just going to scroll down till I get to myself and show you some really cool functionality that we've got when we're looking into a contact. Now I can search up here at the top. I can filter just like we can on command in the desktop. So let's go into myself as a contact and you'll see I've got some really great functionality here. So if you're on the go and you realize, oh, I need to call that person, or I need to send that person a text message, as long as we have those contact details, we can do that in here with the literal click of a button. And then you guys check this out. So let's say that I call this person, we're going to call them. I'm calling myself. We have a great conversation, talk to them. In the call, look what pops up. Would you like to add this call to the timeline? We're going to say yes. Then we can come in here. It already logs it as an interaction type of a phone call, the date we talked. And then down here in the description, we could put whatever we spoke about, hit that save button, automatically updated. And again, that box is going to pop up. So it's really going to allow you to keep track of how you're just having those conversations. Same thing with text message and then email next to it. Now, a note about this is going to use your native phone services. So what do we mean by that? This is not using Twilio or any other email. This is, if you notice when I called myself, it picks up just how I would call from a phone. So it's coming from your phone number. Same with text messages. We're texting directly from your phone number. Now over here, you guys are definitely going to want to check out these 3 dots over here. If we click onto that, a lot of times I hear agents say, well, I've got a contact in command and I want to make sure they're also in my phone. Boom, just click right there and then save contact to my phone. It would create a new record or save them to that. And then share my KW app link. This is awesome. You'll be able to click directly on that, send that app link out. We don't have to go into the other app, share it, so we can run everything through here. Now, you might notice that at the top of the page here, we've also got timeline. So we're looking at anything, how we've had interactions with that particular contact. We can look at all activity. We can go in and sort. You'll see that phone call that I just made already came up right there in the timeline. Let's talk about smart plans. Let's say that this was a contact, a lead that maybe I met at the open house and they didn't fall in love with the house that we saw today. However, I want to make sure that I keep them as a lead and I have them in my database. And I just want to make sure that I'm following up. So easy, you guys. We can click that button at the bottom, immediately add them to any smart plan you have in your library. We can even come up here and search. So if we're talking about that open house, maybe I'm just going to search by that. I've got any open houses that I want to add them to, open house follow-up, click on that. More details at the bottom just to make sure we're good. Check that box, hit confirm, and they are set up on that smart plan. So this, we talk about speed to lead follow-up. It's literally at your fingertips. If we go back one, we're going to take a look really quickly at just tasks. Again, we'll have tons of more videos, you guys here. This would show any upcoming tasks that you have. I've wiped mine clean for the day, so I'll give myself a gold star around that. We'll also have the ability to come down here and to add a new contact task. So let's say that I did want to make a phone call to someone. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set that task and I'm going to add or remove a contact. So down at the bottom, we're just going to associate a contact with that. We'll just do this to this contact. And then I'm going to mark this as a call task and we're going to hit save. What you guys can do when you come into tasks. So imagine that you could come in and your personal assistant, which we're going to say is the command app, can tell you, here's who you need to call today. Here's what you need to do. We can do that easily by coming into that task applet, again, down here at the bottom, and toggling that call task only on. I love this. So I can come in here and say, okay, what do I need to do? Who do I need to be making phone calls to? And then we can click on those 3 dots next to it at any time to reschedule it, view that contact, edit, complete, or archive that. So really, really great functionality with tasks in there. And then one final little thing that I want to show you guys is the ability to check out those notifications. So you'll notice at the top right, I've got my notifications. This will also show up as a bubble on command, the command app as well. But let's go into that. And are there ever times that you guys are getting some notifications and you're like, oh, I got to deal with that. However, I've got a fire going on with this buyer I'm working with, right? So I can't necessarily deal with that right now. I can come in here and let's say that I come in here and I want to add a task around that. So it's something that I want to make sure that I do. I want to follow up with them or anything like that. Click on the 3 dots. You can immediately add that as a task, which I love. Let's say I mark this as red by accident, or I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll deal with that later. Let's go into my red notifications. And if I say, oh, I actually need that to be more front and center, just going to click on those three dots and I can easily mark that as unread. And then that lives in my unread notifications. So you guys download the app today. I think you're going to really, really love it. It allows you to work on the go in many, many different capacities. This is video number 1. We'll dive in deeper. Just wanted to get this out to all of you for a really quick overview. And again, thanks so much for taking time to watch this. You guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much. Bye.
All right, so that was our RTT, Sydney Seymour. She knows way more stuff about tech than I do, and I go to her when I need help, so she definitely knows what she's talking about. I think that's just about all the content we have. We're coming right back up on the top of the hour anyhow. We'll put in one last note. Twilio has been connected to the Command Mobile app since the recording of that previous video. So you now have the choice between calling from your phone number or the Twilio account that you have if you are using Twilio. So you do have that option. All right. I hope everybody gets a lot out of this recording. Always come find me if you've got questions, and let's make some great websites. Bye, everybody.